Are you planning to sell your house in the state of California? Now, wait, don't call the movers yet. There are 6 crucial questions that you have to understand and you have to answer them. And guess what? You miss one of these and you might actually losing thousands of dollars. Or even worse, stay with the house that doesn't sell. Hmm. I'm Ruchika, your friendly realtor based right here in Orange County, and I'm not gonna take your time. Let's dive in. First question: what's my home's value? Now, this is where most of the sellers start. And of course, but let me ask you, is your home's value a fixed number? Hmm. Sure, you can look at Zillow, Redfin. I mean, so many online platforms, they provide the online valuation, right? But tell me one thing. Has Zillow seen the potholes on your street? Or maybe the traffic? Or maybe the noise that comes from the traffic right behind your house? Here's the thing. They get their data from the MLS, which is run by the agents, the real estate agents. Now, let's say one of the agents entered some wrong information or they did not enter any information. Well, if the property is sold off market, now the Zillow, Redfin, they don't have that information. They even their website says under disclosures that their numbers can be off by as much as 20%, which is huge. That's like 200,000 on $1 million home. Hmm. Are you ready to be off by that big of a margin? So how do you decide what's the right valuation for your home? There are a few factors that you should look at. First, look at the recent comparable sales. Not in the zip code, not in your city, but your exact neighborhood. Look at the upgrades that your house has, but the others sold, they're not. And then the market conditions. Well, you gotta see, are the homes selling off the shelf or they are kind of staying in the market for some time? And then, of course, last but not the least, the real estate agent. Consult somebody who knows your exact neighborhood, not the city, not the zip code. No. Why? Why? Because pricing right from the beginning is so important. That's the difference between pin drop silence to multiple offers. Yes. So you make the decision. Question number 2. What are my legal disclosure obligations? Well, here's the thing. You don't just hand over the keys, you gotta hand over all the information too. And these are done through 2 forms: TDS, the transfer disclosure statement, and the SPQ, the seller property questionnaire. Between the two, you will be disclosing things from any roof leaks in the past, any fixing you did, even the neighborhood nuisance, anything that you know of, anything that could matter to the buyer to make the informed decision. Yes. Now, there are a few exemptions. Let's say the seller has never lived at the property. Maybe they inherited it. Maybe it was their investment. So they might be exempt from one of the 2 forms, but still, disclosing everything you know about the property is a must if you want to stay away from the lawsuits, even after the sale. Yes, that's right. How about disclosing the sunroom that you made without the permits? Fun fact, you have to disclose that. You do have to disclose that there were no permits pulled from the city. Yes, it's a part of your disclosure. Fun fact, another one, yes. Now, if there is a death that happened on the property within the last 3 years, within the last 3 years, yes, that becomes a part of the disclosure too. Hmm. Disclosure, disclosure, disclosure. You can never disclose more. Question number 3. How much it costs to sell my home? Most of the time, the sellers just focus on the big number, just the sale price. But no, selling a home comes with its own costs. Let's break it down. First, realtors' commissions. Now, you have to pay for your own representation. That's a given, right? But paying for the buyer's agent's commission as well, it brings more educated buyers to your door. Now, why do you need that? To avoid the legal trouble in the future. Think of commission as an investment that brings you more net while protecting you at the same time. Yes. Now, second, closing cost. The seller incurs title cost, escrow, transfer fee, and the notary. In California, most of the time, this comes to 1 to 1.5% of the sale price. Number three, repairs and improvements. Now, after you open the escrow, the buyers performs the general inspection of the home or whatever inspection they want to do. Now, that inspection can bring some things that you might not know, like a leak under the sink. But sometimes it could be a big item. The AC didn't work, the roof is leaking. Now, there are two roads from here. Either you can provide the credits to the buyer to get the repairs done themselves, or you can fix these items for them and done with it. Number four, staging and professional photography. Data has proven when the home is staged properly and pictures are not clicked from the phone and slapped online, the data has shown the seller ends up with at least 15% more than otherwise. Yes. So that's why I make sure it doesn't matter if it's a condo for 500,000 or if it's a $2 million listing. I always take care of the expenses for staging and photography. It's never on my seller. And if your agent doesn't cover that, just give me a call. Question number four. How do I choose the best offer when I get multiple offers? Multiple offers? Doesn't that sound like a dream already? Yes, it does. But the highest offer is not always the best offer. Yes, it might sound wrong to you, but that's the truth. Okay, for example, you got $20,000 higher than the asking. Now you accept that. But when the appraisal comes in, let's say the appraisal comes at the asking. Now, is the buyer able to cover the gap with the cash in the pocket? Because if they don't have it, they're going to back out if you don't lower the price. Yes, because the lender is not going to give them the loan higher than the appraisal amount. So, a few things we have to see a bigger picture than just the price in the multiple offer situation. The first, their financial strength. What kind of loan are they getting? Are they getting FHA? Are they getting conventional? Are they putting 10% down? Are they putting 20% down? How healthy is their bank account? So many times I would ask my preferred lender to cross qualify the buyer for my seller. Why? Because so many times we will find out funny stuff. Yes. Something like one time we found out, oh, buyer has made 11 offers already. So we knew we have the leverage over here. And one time we found out the lender hasn't even started working with the buyer. They haven't looked at their credit report or anything. They know nothing, but they have issued a pre-approval letter. That happens too. So get them cross-qualified. Yes. Second, contingencies. There are three kinds of contingencies: the appraisal, the inspection, and the loan. The lower the contingency period is, the better for you. And if they can waive few contingencies, even better for you. Timeline. Maybe you're closing an escrow for your replacement property. So at the same time, so will the buyer be able to close at the same time? Or maybe they can give you a rent back period, rent free, where you can live in your house and get ready for closing the escrow on your replacement property. There are a few things that you can work out and look at all those options. Sit down with your realtor and go over it. Question number five. What's my tax situation? My capital gains. So many sellers, they think it's a future problem. We will do that when we cross that bridge. I would say it's better to make an informed decision. We should know it today. So how would you figure it out? If your primary residence, well, I have a good news and a bad news for you. The good news is there is an exemption, there is a tax exemption. The bad news is the tax exemption is only up to 250,000 if you file the taxes single. But if you file the taxes jointly with your partner, then it's up to $500,000. Now, what does that mean? Let me explain it. For example, you bought the house for 300,000 and today you are selling it for 800,000. which gives you the capital gains of 500,000. So let's say if you are single while filing the taxes, then you are exempt for up to 250,000 of your 500,000 gain. Now you pay taxes on the leftover. But if you file the taxes jointly, you're exempt for the entire capital gain taxes, entire profit. And yes, you're free, at least from the Uncle Sam. So if it's an investment, then of course you do 1031 exchange, which is the perfect way to defer taxes until forever. Bottom line, don't wait until you close the escrow to figure this out. Make an informed decision. Question number 6. How do I prepare my house to attract more buyers? Now, here's the truth. Most buyers decide within the first few seconds of seeing your home if they want to buy it or not. So, what you gotta do? That means the presentation is not a choice, it's essential. The good presentation. Now, first, declutter and depersonalize. Now, you want the buyers to come in and imagine living in the house, not looking at your personal pictures or the piles of stuff. That's a big no. Second, deep clean. The floors, the windows, there shouldn't be any web because the spotless sells. And if it's dirty, it makes the buyers wonder what else has been neglected. And some simple updates like fresh paint, a nice landscape, a good curb appeal. Oh my goodness, it goes a long way. You don't need the entire remodel to impress the buyers. No, no, no. Just do enough. That would be good too. And professional staging and photography. We already touched that point. It sells 15% more. Sellers do net more when it's done right. So yes, always, always, always focus on that. Now, there you have it. All the 6 questions that you have to answer and think about before calling those movers. If you need any help, any guidance, and you need to make out any strategies, just give me a call. See you next time.